Monday, February 26, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So I want to look at the markets this morning, and I want to talk about why a cashless society could actually be the best thing that could happen for the precious metals. It might sound a little bit weird, but I'll give you my opinion and thoughts on that. Before that, though, let's have a look at the markets. It's about 7:30 a.m. London, and I woke up this morning. I looked at my mobile phone to see where the markets were, and I was quite surprised to see gold up $10 and silver up 21 cents. We didn't have a great week last week, and usually the following week market keeps going down, but very surprised of the turnaround. Encouraging, of course. Does that mean we're gonna start moving higher? I don't know, but it's a start. Gold right now is up $11 at $13.40, right near the highs of the overnight session. The low was $13.2650, and I saw that last night. Markets open at 11 London time, the COMEX, and that's where we were trading. We started trading around 13.28, 29, then it dipped, and I went to sleep and I said, well, they're probably going to bash it down to 13.20 the way it started, but that's why I'm surprised by the market action this morning. Spot silver up 22 cents now at 16.75, right near the highs. The high's been 16.78, the low 16.42. The Dow is continuing to go up here. It's up 132, up 0.5% at 25,446. S&P up just under 6 points, or 0.2%, 2573. And the Nasdaq is almost unchanged. It's only up 5 points at 6901. So it's the Dow really that's outperforming here. The other indices are not confirming too much the Dow move. The pound is up. The dollar's weaker this morning, but the gold and silver are stronger than the move in the dollar down. The pound is up 1/3% at 140.22, up 52 pips. Euro is up 1/4% at 123.23, and the dollar is down 0.5% against the yen at 106.40. So I've got the dollar index here. Let's have a look, refresh the price. The dollar index is down 1/4% at 89.66. So I would say 89.58, 89.50 is the next key support. It looks like we could be turning. We've had a rebound in the dollar in the last week or so, since let's say the low on the 16th at the multi-year low at 88.25. If we continue weaker, we could go back lower and retest that level. The yen as well, the dollar against the yen as well. It looks like the rebound we saw off the same day, the 16th, that rebound is like fizzling out. We got up to, let's see, a high of like almost 108, and now we're back down to 106.40. The key level below now is going to be like 105.52, which was the low on the 16th. So yeah, overall, the currencies are stronger, and gold is actually outperforming the currencies because we're up almost 1% now in gold. So that's encouraging. Cryptocurrencies are, having a hard time here. Can't seem to get any traction. Bitcoin back below 10,000. LITECOIN kind of outperforming around 216. Ethereum 837. EOS 745. Not concerned about that. So cashless society. Why do I think a cashless society, or the effort to kind of take cash out of the system, could be good for gold and silver, especially physical gold and silver? Well, because Right now, we still have the option of having physical gold as well, of course, but we also have the option of having cash. And I'm sure a lot of people do keep some paper fiat cash at home. We know what happened in 2008, also in Europe, like in Cyprus. You know, it's always good to have some cash. Here we had Northern Rock. I remember in 2007, that bank, there was a run on that bank, or building society. And I even remember taking my daughter out into town, and we saw the queue or the line, people trying to get their money out. Even so, that was quite historic. You know, you hadn't seen that in decades in the Western world. So cash, some people still have cash, but if they ban it, what's the only thing that's monetary that you could, you know, still get a hold of? And this is assuming, of course, they don't ban gold and silver, which is very difficult to do because gold is, you know, jewelry, you know, gold is out there, and they'd really have to be desperate to ban gold and silver. I know they've done that in the States before, but that was at a time when gold was money, and they needed to, you know, stop a bank run. But nowadays, you know, very few people are into gold, and that might be an argument as to why they don't really think it would be a problem to bring a cashless society. But you see, the Keynesians and these PhD economists, these fraudsters, in my opinion, they are, or not even fraudsters, but they are brainwashed. They go to the same universities: Oxford, London School of Economics, MIT, Harvard, Princeton. They're all endowed by the big, you know, the elite and the big banks, the people who've benefited from the central banking system. So they're kind of brainwashed, I would even say, and they're even like don't live in the real world. Even John Maynard Keynes said that gold standard was a barbarous relic. But, you know, almost 100 years later, we're still talking about the fact that we should maybe go back onto some kind of gold system. So, and even Milton Friedman, who's supposed to be, you know, a free market, freedom loving economist, he was against, you know, gold as money. He thought that money should be printed by governments. And he even said in the early 70s, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, that gold would go to almost zero because it wouldn't be part of the monetary system. It would be monetized. And look where we're now. So the poster child, I would say, for this cashless society is an economist by the name of Kenneth Rogoff. He's an American economist. He's a professor at Harvard University. No surprise there. What else has he got here? He's gone to Yale. He went to MIT, has a PhD. And guess, you know, guess the memberships of organizations that he has. Well, he's a member since 2004, or in 2004 he was on the Council on Foreign Relations, which is the basically the policy-making arm of the New World Order, or the globalists. It's the New York arm of the Royal Institute of International Affairs, or Chatham House, the people who organized the Bilderberg Group. He's a member of the Group of 30. He's been on the Federal Reserve Economic Advisory Panel. So he's the one, you know, he calls for, you know, he wrote a book in 2016, The Curse of Cash. So, but these guys, you know, just like Keynes and Friedman, they don't really live in the real world. They, you know, they're academics, PhD. They don't know what a market is. They don't seem to study human nature and human action like the Austrians do. They just look at economics as a science, and they think that government knows best and that people will not do certain things. They don't look at the consequences of their actions. So yeah, bring it on, Mr. Rogoff. Let's try to ban cash. I think it would be great for gold and silver. It wouldn't, I guess, make that much difference anymore. And I think it would be good for cryptocurrencies as well, because it would be, even though I know there's a lot of regulation, starting to come on to cryptocurrencies, I think you can still be outside the banking system, though, with the cryptocurrencies. Yeah, and that's what I think will happen if they really try harder to, ban cash. It will actually help gold and silver a lot. I'm sure that in the 70s, when they went off the gold standard, Milton Friedman was saying that gold was going to go to zero. I was only about 8, 9 years old, and people back then probably said, oh, young people, they'll forget gold. They're going to go into, use the fiat money. Now that won't be any problem. In 20 years time, no one will know what gold is. But here I am, in my early 50s, and in 2018, I found that gold is actually what it's all about in terms of money. And it took me a while because they don't teach you that at the mainstream universities, and even in school. But that's changing now because of people like me and other people talking on YouTube and other social media. And with the internet, it's much easier to see that these guys are full of it. So yeah, I think cashless society is not the end of the world. I think if anything, it could be positive. People might even only realize that gold and silver are the only ways to monetarily to protect yourself, insure yourself from banking shenanigans, because the banks were the main instigators. They're always the main instigators of crisis. They're the ones who peddle their fraudulent paper, their derivatives, and then they get bailed out by governments, which are maintained there by the banks with their game of free money and manipulated interest rates. So do we really want to be part of their game? Well, we need to be, I guess, a little bit, but not totally. So yeah, get out of the bankster system. Of course, you have to play some of that game, or else you can't really survive. But don't give them all your business. And by that I mean, don't deal with them as much as you try to not deal with them as much as you can. And so today I just wanted to show you a little gold nugget. I bought it quite a few years ago on eBay, I think from Australia. I'm not sure how much I paid for it. I think it's about 2.7 grams. So just under 1/10 of an ounce little gold nugget. And yeah, so there you go. Let's wait and see what the markets do later on today. Good start for precious metals. So yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and you can follow me on steemit.com and on Twitter. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.